Welcome to Reality Up Show coverage of House of Villains Season 2, the finale. I'm Jonny Fairplay, joined as always by Jenn Hoffman. Hi, Jenn Hoffman.
Hello, Jonny Fairplay.
Been a long time.
Been a long time.
Been a long
Lots
time.
to talk about.
Seems like minutes.
Mere minutes.
Here we are. The finale. The episode begins, and we hear what a sad excuse for a villain. Now, I don't know if I agree with sad excuse for a villain.
The title. Well, the title also comes from a quote that happens in the show, but it was intriguing.
Okay. So,
because I feel like there's a double entendre there.
Yeah, maybe. So no, I feel.
I'm making my notes, so I won't say it till the end. About the triple entendre. Okay.
Triple entendre. Okay, we'll get there. All right. Well, we had the verbal showdown between Jesse and Wes to end the penultimate episode 10, and very, very intense. And wowzers, we were warned, and they delivered. Wes didn't see the honor in Jesse's move, and I'm just like, this is House of Villains, not House of Good Guys.
Right, which Wes has been pushing the whole time. Like, I made a fake thing.
His entire narrative.
Yeah, Wes's entire narrative is I am being a villain. I'm the puppet master. I'm a genius villain. And then when Jesse's like, yeah, dude, it's what I did, except with lots of words and screaming and a pretty good speech, I think, very entertaining. Wes is like, you were mean, like, basically. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, and we're also reminded Wes has not won one challenge in the house, which is one less than Jonny Fairplay did on season 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look, Wes is on a show called, he's famous for being on The Challenge, basically. So it's funny.
I know.
Yeah. I guess he's just gonna have to, he was relying on using his Mensa mind, which in the previous episode, I think maybe the funniest thing was him saying, to Jesse, I wish you knew. It was like the struggle or the pain of being so brilliant and having this mind. And that's how this is the mindset we're going into the finale with, is the showdown between Jesse and Wes, where Wes is deeply pained by his own intelligence, and Jesse's losing his shit because he understood the assignment and now is being kind of gaslit by somebody who did the assignment, telling him, getting everyone to turn against him for doing what he's supposed to do, and for much less than Wes did at all. So
this is it's so I was hoping that people watching the cast of season 2 watching season 1 would understand.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel as though they did. I see what you're doing.
Moving it back.
Sure.
Well, I feel like, no, I'll be honest. I feel like the shirt is making me look like I have like giant fat rolls. So I'm trying to figure out how like not to do that. Yeah, body images. Okay, continue.
Sure. So I feel people did understand the assignment a little more. However, once you get into your own private little bubble, you're just like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, maybe they came in understanding it. I do think that the people that in our previous episode, our recap, we talked about like how Safari watched it. Oh my god, I forgot her name. Watched it.
Camila
watched it, so she got it. She understood people were going to be villainous. Safari, while he decided to play like hit himself and not try extra to be a villain or anything, like he got it that it was supposed to be a show about a little bit of evil. And then you have people doing exactly what Richard Hatch warned us, and what was annoying is being like, but you weren't nice, but you were mean, but you swore on somebody, but you, and you're like,
yeah, it's tough.
I'm like, is this happening again?
This is happening. New York lets Victoria sleep in her room, and I'm like, oh wow, New York does have a heart. So Safari is in the finals, and to celebrate being in the finals, we get little bits and pieces, almost Hangover style, of Safari's night before. And apparently Safari got fucked up and gave Candy his fur coat and no takebacks.
Oh yeah, Yeah, Kenny's like, you gave me this. And Farah's kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, oh, mine now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would imagine that was an expensive coat.
Possibly, probably. I mean, I
But
don't know.
if you're
I don't know.
Safari,
I can't
Safari.
tell if it's like Fashion Nova or if it's really expensive.
Yeah, but I feel like with Safari, he's not recycling outfits. Like, like once once the outfit hits the gram, we're good.
But that's why I'm like, could it be Shein or could it be whatever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a diss to Safari. It's like if you're on TV and you have to recycle outfits and you're not Larsa with dog birthdays and all this.
He was popping some expensive. He wasn't popping Fashion Nova tags. He was popping Versace tags.
Yeah. I mean, you do a little bit. I call it the high-low. I do both. I have stuff that I had probably spent way too much money on. And then I buy most of my shirts from the Gap or Old Navy, like very plain shirts. And then we'll have expensive shit with it. So
sure.
Yes, I love. But it's the fur coats. Like it's a little, can't tell if the pimpness means like it came from the expensive designer pimp store or if it came from like I'm gonna recycle through these, so why don't I just buy a bunch of less expensive ones?
I think it's from the expensive fashion pimp store, but he didn't pay for it.
That's probably accurate. There's like a friend who designs them and knows who's on the show, so he gets wardrobe or has a shop or bingo. Okay, we've solved that mystery.
Bobby Lights does a lot of that. I mean, Bobby Lights spends plenty of money. Do not get me wrong, but Bobby Lights is gifted lots of stuff as well. And then to supplement, he does Zara.
He has a lot on there. Yeah, Bobby Lights probably would not have to pay for another outfit like for a very long time. So
but he doesn't recycle. As I said, once it's the gram, it's dead to him.
Yeah.
Like Balenciaga is like, oh, it's like there's two pictures.
Oh God. Larsa's a little like that too. I was surprised she was wearing that same, like, I think it was a Versace bathing suit in a couple episodes. I was like, oh, she wore it twice. I thought she was going to bring because she's very adamant about letting people know she doesn't care about those things and then letting you entirely know that she's very wealthy, sophisticated, classy. Her parties cost more than like your whole life, whatever, you know. So, okay.
Let's slip down a little bit on that. We'll get there. So it's the final redemption challenge, and New York is in a marijuana dress.
Oh, yes. I noticed that.
All right. So season 1, I'm pretty I don't want to say I don't want to say 100%, but I will say the vast majority, if not 100%, of the house smoked marijuana. California, it's legal. I mean, isn't it legal everywhere now? Anyway, but I don't really I remember smoking with New York, but not, I mean, like Bobby Lights, like walking like with sage through the house, as Bobby Lights with a blunt.
Yeah.
But and do not do that, Bobby, and you're not allowed to do that. But I don't really remember New York, being like Snoop Dogg about it all. So I felt like the marijuana dress was a lot.
It was an interesting choice. I just feel like she just was creating. I think she took this entire season to realize the opportunity she has and to really play up every moment, brand stuff, stand out any way she can. So I will say right before the redemption challenge happens, Larsa very astutely says, I think that immunity thing of Wes's is fake. And then she says, but it is House of Villains. This is before that. And this is like kind of like a theme is like, do you get it or you don't get it?
I don't know, do we? So, Eva 2.0 is here, and it's Monica Garcia, and Teresa says she's a rat.
Oh yeah, I died at that because that's the only thing I knew was that she had some sort of weird government thing, but for like Italian Teresa who's been to jail because she didn't want to sell out her husband who was horrible, and she's like, oh, she's the rat. She, in perfect accent. No, wasn't acting. Teresa's genuine reaction is, oh, she's the rat.
Did you find Monica kind of rude? I mean, like, I understand she was like playing a role, but like, I didn't feel she came off well.
No, me neither. Because all right, so it's fine. So she said, "I've been watching, and I'm over it. Get ready for the hot tea." So I thought she was going to come out and be like charmingly above them and keep the evil voice kind of thing going.
Yeah.
But instead, she seemed like, "I'm too important to be here. You guys are losers." Um, if for those people don't know, Monica Garcia is from Real Lives of Salt Lake City, and that's not one of the more popular, famous franchises. She's a little infamous because I guess she was a government informant, whatever. And she
Well,
came out.
she was spilling the tea on a gossip deal for about all the housewives.
Oh, right, and that's why the hot tea. That's
Yeah.
why she made the hot tea comment.
Yeah.
And then I totally agree with you because I thought that she would come out and you either have to play it up and be like, really like you're evil, like I am evil, I'm the voice of the house, ha ha ha, and like keep it in character.
But I'm a character.
Yeah, but exactly, and keep it in character. But instead, she
Look, she's
seemed,
just a bitch.
yeah, I was like, oh, like she's just like, and you could tell, like, even the other housewives that are bitchy, they kind of get it and like each other. But like Larsa, I was like, and Teresa, besides even the rat thing, like she didn't really acknowledge them, right? I was like, ugh.
Yeah. As I said, like there's potentially immensely more that we didn't see.
Right.
But which season 1 was supposed to be Anna Delvey. And I feel like Anna Delvey would have shit the bed on the same assignment.
I think
Anna Delvey is not like, as much as we love her, and I think we love the girl from Ozark playing her. I think that's the Anna Delvey that we're all in love with, not the real Anna Delvey.
Oh, I love it when I get the real her because it's so deadpan and she really doesn't care and has like that.
She doesn't give a fuck.
There's like the child left in the orphanage that is really a psychopath or sociopath thing that it's not, because it's not a character. She would have stood there and been like, "This is boring. I don't care," and she wouldn't have been lying, and it somehow would have been funny because it was authentic.
Maybe I think it might have fallen flat as well.
Yeah, maybe. I guess you know what, it might.
I would have been there for it, but like as I said, like there's just a part of me going, no, she would have shit the bed too.
Maybe. I've seen her do a few interviews where she's been so straightforward and so deadpan and kind of like that it did actually work. Where I thought this isn't going to work. Yeah. Like the comedic one she did with I always forgot her name, but it was funny, but she didn't really play into it the way other people play. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's kind of like Between Two Ferns with this chick. But she makes it very like uncomfortable for the guests. And Anna Delvey actually, because it was gonna fall flat on its face, but she was so like just almost giving her nothing in a weird way that like you just started laughing even harder. So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But either way, Monica Garcia did not come across like a fun villain or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, you're bitchy. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it. So, well, our final redemption is arch enemies. Don't worry. Our cast will figure out what that means in about 20 minutes.
Even if you look at it and physically, whatever. So many members. It's
yes. So there are quotes about you, and so there are trivia and playing blocks to form an arch. Yes. And my first takeaway here, I'm not trying to be mean. Larsa does not look great. I felt as though Larsa was stunning this entire show, and I think she had an off day.
Here's the thing with Larsa, and this is no offense to Larsa, and this is no offense to myself as I am getting older. I'm not Larsa's age yet, but we're not too far apart. If you rely very, very heavily on your like always having to be done and always having to, which happens as you get older, it's like you can't just rely on being cute. I used to have no makeup on my face whatsoever, throw my hair in a little bun, throw on a little pair of short shorts and a little tank top and walk out the house. And if I had any idea, I didn't think I looked great or anything. If I had any idea how natural it would have been just to be cute or how good I looked, I like would have done my whole life differently. Because then when you get older,
I think we all would have.
Yeah, when you get older, I think it's like I empathize with Larsa because you have off days if you don't plan it sometimes. So, she's very like curated with where her outfits to accentuate her body as you get a little older and weight goes places and, her makeup on point. But if if you don't keep up with that, not all women who are aging, some look great when they do nothing. It just really depends. She's gone so much that route that it's almost like weird when she's not perfectly done up. So it makes her end up looking worse. It's not that she's an unattractive person. It's just such a contrast from that like curated
from her being perfect.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not, no shade. I was like, she has looked pretty much perfect the entire season, and then the final thing, and I'm just like, she doesn't look perfect today.
It's like what happened on The Traitors, because it was in 4K and they did such close-ups that some people that look really good and are very attractive, when they got up in their face, you were like, whoa, you were like, okay, they got older, like
they're yep.
It was just
all right.
I'm not saying anything nasty about anybody, because like, trust me, I'm over 40. Once you cross that over 40 thing,
4K is not your friend.
No, I on The Apprentice, I was worried, like, am I too fat? Am I too fat? Even though I was like super thin, I didn't have that worry of like, can they see my aging skin and face? I was like 25 when we filmed it. And 4K after 40 though, whoa.
Oh yeah, I was watching AEW wrestling, and this guy Jeff Jarrett, he's like 57 or something, and he bleaches his hair, but he apparently he's never heard of toner, and so it's just like, hey, yellow, not good, not so your Botox is great, but your toner is you're lacking it. So yellow is bad. Anyway, all right. Let's see.
Arch enemies. Okay, arch enemies is 9 quotes other villains have said about you. You have to match the quotes to the correct villain, and then you have to assemble them in an arch, which are these boxes basically that you have to put together and have it hold up and be matched to the correct people. So it's a double challenge of the physicality of getting it up there and remembering who said what.
And we've seen this spelling arch thing on Survivor, and peek behind the curtain. Will, who was a producer on Survivor, is a producer on House of Villains. I'm like, I know what you did there, Will. Yes. So good stuff. I don't know if it begins with production telling our participants how many they got correct, or we had to eventually get there, because you don't hear at the beginning.
No.
They're just like, is this right? And they're like, no. And it's like, okay.
Eventually, 5 wrong. Only 2 right. Got 2 correct. Same 2 are correct. Like,
I felt like we worked our way towards 1, 2, and then once that happens, it's just math.
Yeah, that's what Wes ends up figuring out. But it's once you know how many you have right, it's just okay, just switch out this one, switch out the next one, which is true.
So yes. All right. Let's see. Well, Wes eventually wins. It's not it's we do the maths. Wes wins, and Larsa in New York need a drink.
Yeah. Like, I needed it was so funny how quickly in agreement was like, I need a drink, me too. Okay. Yeah. Well, New York, it was like, I don't feel like New York expected to win or care. And I think she kind of did the winning thing where you win by being the most entertaining. So she wasn't too bothered.
Yeah. So Larissa may be voting for Jesse.
Oh, yeah, not sure. All I saw was like a yellow like sports bra and like so much boobs. Clearly no shade to Larissa, but when she's trying to have that, she's like trying to have this conversation with Jesse, and they're trying to get something accomplished, and I'm like, this conversation's accomplishing nothing.
No. I feel Larissa is like the last person you talk to, because she'll forget.
Totally. She either hasn't made up her mind and is going to go with whatever one does, or she might forget you had the conversation, or like she was
walking into the bookcase, I think, is when you have that conversation. Hey, Larissa, vote for, okay.
I feel like just be super nice to her, give her a few compliments all day, and then just check on it, before going in. We find out, by the way, that Kevin is Carrie Muse's government name.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes. Let's see. Wes is talking to everyone. Safari is not. Okay. And here we go. Day 18, and the room of 3 is the final 3, as I mentioned the last time. Smart way to play the game. And going into this final day, I'm looking Candy, Camilla, New York look incredible.
Yeah. Everyone looks amazing.
Well,
New
no,
York,
Candy, Camilla, New York. So Victoria looks good. But I mean, I just
I'm like,
want to give.
usually you're the first one to talk about Victoria's looks and how you think she's cute. So I'm like wondering where that was, where the love went.
Well, I mean, I just think Candy, Camilla, and New York just slayed the finale.
That Camilla looked very, very good. That's true. Candy really brought it out. Candy was like wearing like the full, like a little less like almost like campy like drag queen, like actually like looked elegant, like looked very good.
Yeah.
That's why I brought up. That's why I brought up Candy's. I don't want to say case. Candy's government name being Kevin because it's so funny because you get the reveal. People on Drag Race probably knew or super fans, but I didn't know. So when she says that she's Kevin and then comes out in this like ball gown and actually looks beautiful, I was like, that's such a juxtaposition. Like that's Kevin, but it's also Candy Muse.
Yeah, and Candy, according to King George, is a top.
Huh. Okay. How does King George know that?
King George is his favorite show is RuPaul's Drag Race, so I guess it was because it was discussed there at some point.
Okay,
so, or deep dive on the internet.
Yeah, I was like, or somewhere like a video or something. It's just funny.
Sure. So, well, we learned that Hatch was not, so there is that.
Yes.
Wes reveals his secret alliance with New York.
Mm-hmm. They do a little flashback to their meeting and pretending to not know each other.
Yeah. So, and Worst Cooks in America, that comes out. Did that come out yesterday or this week?
I thought the 5th.
The 5th.
Well,
okay.
that's weird,
so
2 days.
Yeah. So
I could have sworn it was the 5th, but we could check with Rachel Riley, who was on it along with us and New York.
Yeah. I guess we need to cover that, huh?
Yeah, Rachel and I were talking about it, and then things both got busy with us with holidays and kids and everything like that. So, yes.
Maybe you look this direction January 6th, everybody. You never know. So, all right. Or 7th. Who's to say? All right. Wes reveals that the necklace was brought from home. And at this point, we hear from the peanut gallery that that's not playing fair. Well, first and foremost, that's nearly copyright infringement. It's fair play, but thank you. And Hatch goes, I'll allow it.
Yep, because
that's literally how shows like this work, and especially House of Villains.
Right, it's House of Villains, and nobody said you can't come in and mess with people. And also, Bananas clearly was able to bring something in the pre-handwritten notes for season 1. So don't whine. He did it. It's not cheating. It's being a villain.
Yeah, and Camilla's like, didn't you guys watch season 1? And everyone's like, yeah, kind of, sort of. And Safari goes, I watched it twice. Remember that when you vote.
So there you go. Maybe why there's some confusion for that. I was like, it's House of Villains. What?
Candy's pissed.
Oh, yeah. But I'm like, this is House of Villains, not House of Integrity. What is happening? Like,
I don't know. This is all, we were doing so good, and this is all kind of falling apart.
Yes.
So, well, it's time to give your pitch on what you're going to do with the money. And Wes is giving it to his daughter. So if you would like Wes's daughter to go to school in any facet, whether it be preschool, junior high, community college, MIT, the only way this happens is if you give Wes $200,000, which he will turn into $1 million on Dogecoin.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, you know what? Based on I don't know when the prize money is awarded. I don't know if it's awarded like on Survivor. It's awarded at the finale, but a lot of shows you get it after you finish filming. So potentially, if Wes had won, there's a 50-50 possibility that he invests in that Haktua coin.
Oh my gosh. or any of these they're called meme coins. Any of these meme coins that come up, anybody who gets
the
a
Hulk
meme,
Hogan coin.
Oh, I learned about this through a friend of Fairplay who ended up calling me for something. And I learned all about the basically how there's like a very intense crypto world. And there's a lot going on there and lots of meme coins. And I understood like a Hawk 2 one will come out or this coin will come out, but I got to learn a lot more about stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of those pump and dump scams. I know with the Hulk Hogan one, it like, a bunch of money went in and then, and then they dumped it, whatever. And Hulk was like, it wasn't even me that put it out.
Yeah. And that's happened to some other people who have said what happened with Hogan probably is what, after talking to your friend about this, I started looking at some other situations. And they sometimes will be told, we're going to do this and like BRB, and then it happens. And then they kind of didn't know that. Like they didn't know that was the thing, that it was a pump. And they weren't told like, hey,
plausible deniability.
Yeah. They're like, they're not like, here's what we're going to do. And then sometimes it's not even, they're not even really told. People just take advantage of something that they're a fan of or the latest meme or something. And they truly have no idea. Or you have
and sometimes they're 100% in on it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Or you have like other people allegedly, Logan Paul allegedly, and other people like that allegedly. I have no idea. I wasn't there. That are like, amazing idea. Let's do it.
Yeah. Look for the Jonny Fairplay coin coming up. But yeah, if I'm still curious, if Wes had one, does he get the Hawk 2 coin to invest in his daughter's future? Who's to say? Yes. It's time to vote. Victoria votes Wes. Hatch votes Wes. Candy votes Safari. Camila votes Safari. Larissa votes Wes. Larsa votes Safari. And with 0 votes, Jesse is eliminated at this point. There's no way he can win. And then Teresa Safari and New York Wes. The alliance made it from beginning to end. And it was implied, we still don't know that about Safari and New York hooking up in the past, but if they did, the hookup was not as strong as a friendship.
Yes, with Wes. That is very true. And the implication that they hooked up or had some sort of like romance or something, I don't know how deep that was, but clearly New York, who is very unpredictable and likes to, I think that if she hadn't had a sincere friendship with Wes, it would have behooved her for the show to have been like to stab him at the end or do something. So that's like a genuine friendship there. Which lands us in a tie. And
for the record, going back to the New York vote, she understood the assignment.
Yeah, the villain, not the nicest person.
Wes was the better villain of those two options. And B, a tie makes the show a better show, just like we had on season 1.
Correct. I thought that maybe could have gone into some people. Okay, Richard understood the assignment. He, Wes, obviously. Candy had an emotional vote. Victoria stuck with her word. Camilla, I was surprised with the Safari because I thought that she watched the show at least once or twice and understood the assignment, but I guess she just didn't see anything in Jesse or care for Wes, but maybe they kind of had
Safari fucked her over with by telling her that he had her back.
I remember that, and for some reason I ended up thinking that he did. Remember that was a weird vote during that one where you couldn't. There's maybe 2 votes for her, and you weren't sure who the floating vote was. So I don't think I got clarity that he actually didn't when he said he was. That's important that I missed that.
So she was rewarding his villainous behavior of lying to her.
So, yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
So Camilla understood the assignment.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Camila was posting on Instagram. She was like, "Oh my God, I need new boobs so bad. Please let me buy new boobs." And I was just like, $200,000 could have got a bunch of new boobs. She was like, "Fair play."
Or could have created you a Larsa. I mean, a 1-year maintenance plan of Larsa. Yeah. I'm not hating. I hope I have.
Larissa has extra.
That's true. Larissa has them to spare.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm not hating on Larsa, because then you have Larissa where it's like gone way over the top to the like where it's
Yeah.
camp, but I'm not sure she knows it. And then you have Larsa just doing what us ladies got to do at some point. So not to be mean about that. Oh, you're right. Okay, so I missed that. I thought that Safari actually did have her back, and I was like, oh, so like she did is her friend. But now that I know that he lied to her and she voted for him, I'm like, oh, okay, she understood this. We got it. I feel relieved. I was actually like a little bothered by that.
Okay, there we go.
But it resulted in a tie, so I wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So we end up with the tie, and so just like season 1, the person that finished with no votes or with the least amount of votes, or who was not a deciding factor of any way, becomes a deciding factor, much like Anfisa was on season 1. Jesse gets to decide the winner, and Joel says, Jesse, stop right now.
Yep.
Wes, get on your knees and beg, and if you do, you're the winner.
This was so good and such an iconic moment. It just the way he looked at him and the beg, get on your knees and beg, and just like the like the tempered rage and the I'm gonna now humiliate you, and all right, fine, I didn't win and it's because of you, and because you know if you're such a villain, then you beg me. I was like, this is the most villainous shit that's happened on the show, is like the straight up humiliation. It was great.
Yeah, like we see, wow, you're a dick, Jesse. And I'm just like, that's a villain. It's not a dick. He was a dick all last episode.
Like, he delivered a great finale. If he had just argued with one of them or done something and hadn't pulled a move, like beg, like get on your knee, like and wasn't so emphatic, and even though they're all reacting and arguing, he did not even, it was like he didn't hear a word in the room besides zeroing in on wanting to humiliate Wes. And it made the finale.
Yes. All right. If you're Wes, do you beg?
Here's the thing, which I thought of. Okay. If you're Wes, you have already clowned around so much and you're such like a lying kind of like schemy person who admits it. So I'm thinking to myself that Jesse wants to prove he's a villain, but he's honorable. So it is confusing because you think if he gets on your knees and does it, you'll do it. But Jesse just went on a whole rant about his house of villains, so don't apologize for it. So if Wes is such a Mensa member, then you figure out that you be like, you know, whether you think I should win or lose, whether you hate me or not, this is House of Villains, Jesse. I will never get on my knees and beg. Like some speech like that, maybe Jesse would have picked him. So Jesse, this is where I got into the triple entendre with the with the name of the show, which was, now I just forgot what it is. It was the what?
Sad excuse for a villain.
Sad excuse for a villain, right? So I think Jesse gets called that at one point, and then now you have basically like somebody who said they're such a villain and doing whatever, like at the end being brought to their knees to beg to try to win this.
So that's the sad excuse for a villain.
Sad.
And then the person that played the nicest game winning is a sad excuse for a villain.
Yes. So
Jesse is literally called the sad excuse for a villain.
So. Yeah. So the title makes sense. But for when you asked that about Wes begging, I was like, in a way, you kind of have nothing to lose in case you win, but you better give some really strong interviews saying stuff like that. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll do anything to win, even if it's like, I don't mean it. I hate that guy, but I'll beg because I'll lie. Like, you have to give interviews like that. But I think Wes should have said no, because Jesse was looking for, I think if there was any inkling that Jesse was going to give him the money, it would have been Wes hearing what Jesse was screaming the day before, giving him some credit and being like, all right, you got me, but I'm still the bigger villain because I will never kneel for you. Something like that. What do you think?
Well, here's Wes's quote, and then I'll give you my what I would potentially do or not do. Okay, so Wes literally just posted, okay, so it's long past the airing of House of Villain on Peacock, but if you still haven't seen the finale, don't read because the rest are spoilers. I would love to write a long tweet here, but the people I'm mostly addressing can barely read, so I will keep it as short as possible. very on brand for Wes.
Yeah.
I
Also
am
mad, clearly mad.
Yeah, I am the people's champion of House of Villains. I can relate, Wes. I played the best game and didn't win for a handful of reasons. Regardless of those reasons, the creator of the show told me they're revamping how the game is won for future seasons, so take that for what it is. I find it important to note that the main reason I didn't win was that Safari's social game was on point. The narrative that he did nothing is just wrong. He is one of the coolest guys I've met in my TV career and deserves more flowers than what he is getting.
That's great. Okay.
All right. Regarding the begging, I was kind of meh about that moment for the last half year until the haters came out saying how horrible it is to beg. Now, I'm incredibly proud of that moment. It was my job to do two different things. A, do and say whatever I have to win, regardless of how unlikely it is. And B, to be entertaining. Friendly reminder that I am a 20-year television star on a comedy show. When you attempt to shame me for taking 2 seconds in a jocular manner to get on my knees and beg for an amount of money most of you will never see is a knock on society. Begging, especially as a joke, is only demeaning to the insecure. The fact that I didn't think twice about it until it aired just showcases how unseriously I take myself. To anyone that says they would never beg something, even as a joke, you need to reassess your priorities. That pride is probably that pride is probably why you're stuck. Let's be real. That moment wouldn't be funny if I was unsuccessful. If it was reversed and I did that to Spectacular, it would have gone viral. We like to see the mighty fall even for a second. So every time you come at me, you're reminding me that I'm on top.
Wow. That's actually great and true. It is true to insult somebody for begging when his job was to win and to entertain, and further to insinuate that people don't have to beg like in real life, and that is somehow shameful if you're at a position where like you're brought to your knees. Like Wes did a good job with that. He's not wrong.
Yeah. I think the follow is, are you just asking me to beg because I'm that much taller than you and you want to look me eye to eye when you say I win?
See? Everybody has their different ways and the way it would go. But he did put in the little the unserious about myself part, which I was saying. I was like, it was okay for Wes to beg because it was a chance and he was trying to win. And also he wasn't taking it himself that seriously. Like he was trying to be dramatic and be entertaining and whatever. So I was like, all he needed to do was kind of clean it up. I felt like a little bit of what he wrote in that note, but he says he didn't think of it until he got the hate for it, which makes sense. Is like I thought in an interview he was going to clean it up and be like, I will, exactly like kind of what he said, like I will do anything. This is a show. I'm here to win. Who cares? And like, I'm entertaining.
But instead, you get Jesse going, ha ha ha! You're a moron.
Yeah. That would have been. I expected more of that, but the only reason I thought he shouldn't have begged was not because I thought there was anything pathetic about it. I loved it. It was entertaining. I'm glad he decided to do it, because it made, if he'd just been like, no, like it wouldn't have been as fun.
I mean, the end of the show is a fart.
Yeah, exactly. So like he helped create more television, which begets more television and helps your career, and was good. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I just think if he wanted to win, he should have thought about the psychology of Jesse and what he had said, and he might have won if he had said no, but instead we got a great moment of TV, so we win.
Yeah, I mean, if they do House of Villains season 3 rivals, you have Wes and Jesse, me and Bananas,
Yeah. I mean, that Safari
Corinne and Shake.
Oh yes. I'm like, well, once again, you have the person who was most liked in the house. So I think that hint about how the producers are going to change it up, not that Wes even necessarily knows, is that you can't have the house vote, or else it's going to be your friends and it's going to be trying not to be villainous so no one's mad at you. And if they want a real house of villains, whether those people vote or not, it either has to not be the people that have been kicked out voting like jury style, or they have to put a twist on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel maybe it could be like, okay, say you have 3 in the finals. Maybe you have 1 vote. Each person has 1 vote against 1 person.
Okay. So you kick
So
somebody else.
maybe you get a little more like, you know, like, I mean, it still might not work, but instead of voting, so if there's 3 people and you have 1 vote and that 1 vote is for your friend, I feel like you're going to use that vote in a more friendly manner versus there's 3 people to vote for. You have 1 vote to vote against someone, and
Right.
maybe that gives us more of, you know, it's like you're voting for the person you feel is least villainous.
You know what they might do, or I just made this up out of my head, that would be amazing? Like jury instructions. You know when you give a jury instructions and you say, "We are here."
They did, that's
But if
done.
you keep the theme and keep them as like a jury to the jury that
It doesn't,
decides.
yeah, we did that happened season 1 and 2, and that didn't work. So
I feel
I'm
like that they would have
thinking,
to keep the theme though. So the theme would have to kind of keep going where people would have to either explain their actions or like instead of an Eva, like I feel like is it supposed to be a jury? And I think if they're going to have the house vote, you have to keep reminding them the way you keep reminding a jury.
yeah,
So there
but
would have to be
we
some
did it.
element.
We did, it didn't matter.
Hmm.
So no, I think that might, as I said, I feel with the 1 vote to help, I think people
Yeah.
look at friendliness versus if you use 1
Yeah.
vote again, saying
Again.
who is not a villain, you cast your 1 vote there, and I feel maybe we'll get a pure answer.
That's true. Just the fact that they're voting for
Yeah,
is
I think 4 turns
psychologically
it
different than
friendly.
voting against.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I think there's the loophole that might mentally make this work.
It's
So, and as I said,
possible.
and if there's 3 people to choose from, you can only use 1 vote to vote against. I feel that you know, it's more. Yeah. As I said, I think the friendliness is the problem here.
That could be very true. Just is a very simple psychology of who you're rooting for slash voting for. Those could be conflated and
Yep.
kind of make that. But look, this is a genius show. I love the show. I hope they bring back way more of the fourth wall, way more of the campiness and showing mistakes and things like that, and showing producers having to wrangle somebody or somebody,
Yeah.
all those things that made the show excellent. I hope they doubled down on, but I really do. They hope they find a way to deliver us a villain as a winner.
Yeah. Yes. So, and it ends with Safari is the Joker, I guess. I did not get that.
Well, that was in our last recap, I had made a comment about how Safari was doing a lot of physical, like weird stuff, and they did show that he was yelling and howling at the moon, and he was doing weird stuff like I told you about peeking around the corners and like
Yeah.
eating popcorn really fast and laughing maniacally in the hallways and throwing stuff around. And they didn't show it throughout. It was like they showed it twice, so then it kind of made no sense.
Yeah. So, but congratulations, Safari. I mean, I felt you could grasp, much like Tanisha, that she was liked in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I liked both of them. So when they
Yeah.
won, I was like, even though I did get a little bit like, oh, it's House of Villains, not House of Integrity. Like, oh, we got another like
Yeah.
almost well-liked person again. I was like, well, at least I liked them. Like, if it was the most
Yeah.
well-liked person and I also like couldn't stand them or thought they were full of shit or whatever, then it would have been extra disappointing. But it was like you could live with it. I just hope they changed the format.
I think Candy could have done both, been most villainous and most liked.
Yeah, because Candy was playing such a character and was speaking her mind and just had the character down, and people did like her. So I think you're right. I think that might have been the only person who would have been able to pull off arguments and fighting and being a villain and winning.
But Wes owned Candy, and so with that, it's just like,
Right.
all right, well then, isn't Wes better?
That is true. I mean, look, we still got a really great moment though, the begging thing, and then Jesse, and that was
Great
an
TV.
iconic reality TV moment,
No. So, And people will see it now that it's on Peacock.
Yes.
There we go. All right, and with that, Jenn Hoffman, quite the season, quite the podcast. You're incredible. Where can everybody find you if they want to hear and see more incredibleness?
From time to time, I update the gram. So just for now, you can follow me at Jenn Hoffman, JENNHOFFMAN, like it says there, but hi, HI at the end. Where can we find you, which is everywhere?
At Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny, JONNY FAIRPLAY. Go to JonnyFairplay.com. I have links to my upcoming appearances, my records on eBay, my cameos, all the fun things. Go to JonnyFairplay.com, no H in Johnny. And with that, House of Villains, we bid you adieu. But don't worry, folks. Traitors is coming up. Deal or No Deal Island season 2 is coming up. We got the Golden God from Australian Survivors on there. Parvati, Dr. Will from Big Brother with wearing a SPF 200, I imagine. Get ready. There's lots and lots to talk about. I have a few Deal or No Deal Island friends. Maybe I'll be bringing on when doing coverage of that. So we got Worst Cooks in America, Heroes versus Villains. Survivor comes back in February. There's just so much. So keep an eye out for everything, guys. Click the subscribe button. If you'd like to watch or listen to any of this commercial free, go to realitypatron.com. That's realitypatron.com. And until then, we'll see you somewhere. And definitely House of Villains season 3. All right. With that, bye, everybody.